Geez, a bit bright.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It. My name is Cathy Ngo,
And I'm Di Lee.
and today we are talking about hugging. When was the last time you hugged yourself?
I haven't hugged myself, but last night I had dinner with a group of wonderful women friends and we hugged. At the end of it, we greeted each other. We said, do we do the kind of social
Like
distance?
the
kind
awkward,
of
do we shake hands? Do we bow?
Bow, yeah, whatever.
Do we hug?
And we thought, fuck at this, we're going to hug. So we hugged. I love a strong, firm hug, and a genuine firm hug is really good. It feels good because it releases a lot of tension, I believe, in your body.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't like to be hugged. She does not like to be hugged. So that's very interesting. We both
I got problems.
Yeah, she's got problems being hugged. I don't.
Well, do you hug men the same way as you hug women?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think
Why is that?
I suppose with women friends, the ones that I'm close with, I just hug you. Give them love. You hug, really warmth hug.
If it's a guy friend.
If a guy friend, I've never hugged a guy friend. I suppose there's that boundary, isn't it?
So what do you do? Do you shake hands?
Yeah,
when
you shake
first
hands,
greet them?
no, I do hug, but not to the Imagine if I hugged a guy and stood there and hugged him deeply like that. I think it can be misinterpreted.
Yeah. Someone will take a photo and it'll be on what is it, the Fairfield Express or something like that.
That's right. So it can be misinterpreted by that person as well, unless of course you kind of clearly said, you do hug. Like there are colleagues of mine that I haven't seen. We say we'll give a hug or we give a kiss on the cheek, I love it. I love
Yeah, it's the kind of like almost
affectionate
affection, intimacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
what about if the guy's gay? Would you?
Yeah,
him, squeeze him?
a gay guy I can squeeze.
Okay.
Yeah, I can squeeze a gay guy.
Ooh.
Well, hug. I can hug a guy who's gay or yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting. I only hug if the other person kind of does that.
Yeah, I've tried to hug her.
Damn it, it's coming. I'll just go with it because I don't want to make it awkward, but I'll go with it anyway. Yeah.
I've tried to hug Cathy, sometimes we say bye, see you later, and I kind of come up and she go, so her language just goes and you think, okay, she doesn't want to be hugged. And I hug her anyway, she just stands there like this. So Cathy will stand there like that. Oh,
like a sausage.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't take it personally, anyone who in the past I've hugged or avoided. It's not you, it's me.
Yeah, so it's always us, really. It's the difference is us. It's not the other person whenever something kind of pops up like that.
Yes.
But the reason we're talking about hugging is because, was it last week?
Yeah, a couple of days ago, Ita Buttrose, is it the chairperson?
So Ita Buttrose is the chair of the Australian Broadcasting
Yes.
Corporation. Now, for our viewers who do not know who Ita Buttrose is, especially if you're overseas or if you're a millennial and you don't watch the ABC, she is the chair, and she was also formerly the in charge of a lot of women's weekly publications. She kind of led or pioneered. In terms of women's magazine.
So she's a very well respected woman in Australia, and she recently made a comment about millennials not being resilient enough, and that, quote, they need hugging.
Yeah.
So that's why we're talking about hugging today.
In the context, she was putting, in a sense, in the workplace whereby millennials are seen to be, I suppose, you can't be too.
It needs to be bubble wrapped or something
that's
like
right.
that.
So you've got to be
alluding
gentle about criticism. You can't criticize, and to some extent, there is some truth there. I remember in my early years at the ABC, I also am a product of the great auntie, as as the institution is known. I remember when I first
What
started.
do you mean by great auntie?
It's the ABC is known as
The great.
the Great Auntie.
Oh, I did not know that.
There you go. It's the Great Auntie. It's a
Bit of
great.
trivia in case I go on one of those shows.
Yeah, it's an institution. It's an iconic media institution within Australia. So when I first started at the ABC in the newsroom, and there'll be days when I'll have not edited, because it's a daily thing where you have to edit a story, interview somebody, edit quickly, and then it goes to air. And if you're slotted in to go to air, you got to just make sure that you got it as
Yeah, you gotta be
accurately.
fast.
Yeah, very fast. I remember editing, and you knew, so you edit and you left a few questions in that when you listen back, you think, oh God, why did I leave that question in for? And of course, as soon as it goes off air, I remember one instance where the editor came out, the news editor came out and said, "What the? Oops, beep beep."
Don't worry,
We have
the
to beep
was
there. Why did you leave that stupid question in? You should have known better. And you screamed. This was in the newsroom. And I thought, oh my God, I felt so small. I felt like, and of course the other journalists were just walking away, looked up, looked down, back to typing.
like, I didn't see anything.
That's right. And so you felt like, oh, but I think that what it did was that I learned very quickly. I learned that I made sure that the next story that I did, I listened, I interviewed, I asked the right questions, and if it was the stupid questions, I got to make sure I cut it out. But sometimes you have to ask all these questions in order to get to the core of the story.
Yes, right.
And you go different ways to get to that core of that story and that issue. But you got to make sure that you edit those questions out because you want to get that core of that story. So I think that for me, a lot of, and one of the things that was used to said to me was that you either sink or you swim in journalism. You sink or you swim. So there's no cotton wooling, there's no holding hands, there's no, oh, are you okay? Oh, don't worry. Take your time to learn. If there's anything, no. You go out there, you do the job. If you don't, you fail, and you fail badly, and you might not get to report a story. And that's a real, if you want to develop your career as a journalist, you have to really work very hard to ensure that you always get the byline, you're always trying to get an opportunity to have your story broadcasted. And especially for me, as a person of a non-English speaking background, can you imagine the pressure,
the bias?
Oh, the expectations of myself and the bias that existed, but I didn't even know that there was that bias there. And I constantly had to make sure that I was performing 10 times better.
Yeah, you just had to work a lot harder because of all the things that were against you.
Yeah. So back in those days in the workplace, there wasn't that kind of really hugging. There was no need. There was no time for hugging, really. It's really time for rumbling out there, and you get your hands dirty, and you get your shirt shredded because people are just jostling to be able to get that their story being broadcasted or being scheduled.
I think with media, television, it's a certain environment. Same as advertising, it's very high pressured, high demanding. So I can understand in that environment, you need to either sink or swim. Yeah. But
in the workplace too, I'd say, I think you need to make mistakes quickly in order for you to learn and then do it better next time.
Oh, yeah, definitely mistakes shouldn't be seen as a bad thing. I think it's how quickly you can bounce back from those mistakes, and that bouncing back is resilience. Yeah, resilience.
And if you don't have the opportunity or you don't make the mistakes, and because you're so protected and you don't make mistakes, then of course you're not going to be able to bounce back because you've got nothing to bounce back from because you have not failed. So I think in the context of what Ita Buttrose, apparently it was reported in Smart Company too that she apparently invoked the wrath of the youth and many of those who employ them because she was suggesting that people in the workplace these days lack resilience and almost need hugging, quote unquote. So do you think that that's the case really for millennials or for anybody else really.
I don't think it's just millennials. I think it's just everyone, really. Like in that article, if you guys do read it, Naomi Simpson's basically saying that, that's why she's up there on the screen, that millennials will make the most of the workforce in the future, what currently is at the moment. So, we need to be adaptable with our communication style. I don't think it's a millennial problem as such. I think it's just that nowadays we have so many other challenges, right? We've got social media and our family at work, and we're constantly seeking that validation. And back then, you didn't have that social media, that pressure, right?
No, that's right.
And nowadays, you're like, there's just multiple sources, and it's like you're constantly questioning yourself. I'm not saying everybody, but like sometimes people are constantly questioning themselves. Am I
good enough?
Am I good enough? Do I belong here? How am I really performing? So,
Look, I think, and I think we've touched upon this before, Cathy, whereby we are saying that social media is increasingly really, while it's a great medium for connection, absolutely, but I have always maintained that it's also an increased medium for disconnection.
I agree.
Because while you see people, you're actually not connected face to face. You don't actually physically are able to hug people at all. But then in addition, the whole image that's being pushed through social media is that you got to look a certain way, you got to be a certain way physically. That saying, despite that though, I think that it allows for more diversity, I have to say. So social media does allow for more diversity of faces, cultures, and you're seeing faces and stories that you have not seen before, right, in the traditional medium of television or newspaper, which is run and managed by a certain group of people in society. Yes. Social media has actually opened the gate for collaboration and for diversity and inclusion, absolutely.
Definitely, yeah.
But I think the downside of that is that there's also this heightened, kind of expectations in terms of the millennials who are saying, like I said, I've touched upon this before, my son, I keep on saying to him every night, please don't be obsessed with how your body looks. Exactly. He's not taking supplements, so which is good. He's just going to the gym now.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
God. He goes to the gym in the morning, wakes up, goes to the gym twice a week, and then he goes soccer, but he just, he'll take his shirt off and he looks. I said, what are you looking at? Look at me, Mum.
Look at me,
Mum. And I said, please don't do that.
Put that weapon away.
So for young men, young women, and sometimes it's by accident that I kind of peer over what he's looking at on his Instagram. I think it's Instagram. But I see images of young boys, with no shirts, like abs or whatever, and young girls, really very...
Like a Nicki Minaj?
Well, almost. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen that Nicki Minaj and whatever that guy's...
the lots of tattoo guy
lots
with
of
the red
tattoo
hair.
and the teeth kind of silver, shining.
I don't know who he is.
Oh, my God. Look, I'm not conservative. I don't think I am. I'm actually a very open-minded,
Would you
woman.
TikTok to that song?
I would. No, I would not TikTok to that song. I thought you mean would I TikTok? Of course I would TikTok. So that proves to you that I'm actually a very open-minded person, but there are certain boundaries that you think you need. I believe we should respect the boundaries of our physical body, like how much we show, just being a bit more respectful of our bodies. I think both boys and girls, not just girls here, by the way.
Yeah, I think if you sexualize it, then it becomes a problem. But if you show skin but not sexualize it, I don't think that's a problem.
But what do you mean by sexualize it? So where is the boundary between sexualizing an image to an image that's about beauty and is about capturing the human physique?
Well, it's the body language. Like the Nicki Minaj videos, it's the...
Oh God, Cathy! I don't know if you guys have seen that. That was terrible. And these are the kind of images that young people are exposed to. Not just young, but people. Like, I don't know. It's almost pornography, right? It's almost pornography to me, and I don't know if that is appropriate. And I can understand how some people are kind of wishing for those olden days. I can understand that when things have just gone extremely.
Well, would you say that people back in the days were wrapped up in bubble wrap? It kind of is.
Yeah, kind of. Well, not back in those days. Back in the days where you can still show a bit of skin, but you still keep that allureness of that mystique of what's under that, that sheet or that outfit. You have to leave some to people's imagination.
Mysterious girl.
Oh, but we're digressing here from hugging to kind of
being naked.
Being naked, yeah. I wasn't say the word pornography, but I did. There you go. I said it. But what do people think?
What do you think? Tell us.
Tell us if young millennials, or not just young millennials, but maybe you, and do you think that in the workforce in this day and age, we are really, it's not building us to be resilient, because everything is like, if you sneeze, you got to take time off. Oh, you've got a sore back. Oh God, I can't do this, and you got work health and safety in place. Workers' comp. So therefore, really, our society's resilience is going to be tested. I think it's going to be tested until we go through a war of some sort. And people would argue that we are going through some sort of a war now with COVID, but not yet there. Yeah. It's not really.
It's not comparable.
It's not comparable
World
to
War I and II.
Yeah, when you've lost everything, when you have to really rebuild from nothing. That's when you actually can build resilience. So until then, we are a very lucky society.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Whatever people complain about, like I know people complain a lot, but if you stop and think about it, really, we are so lucky. We've got access to good, clean water.
Electricity, Wi-Fi.
Access to electricity, Wi-Fi. While our Wi-Fi is not as the best,
but
as like in Korea or in other Asian countries where you got really fast speed Wi-Fi, but that's the infrastructure, and that's because our government have not provided us with the infrastructure. But we've got good transport, good health. Oh my God, our health system really has provided us with protected us really through this COVID. Despite the numbers in comparison, we actually have got access to a really good health system.
We do.
Compared to the US.
Yeah. Thank you, nurses and all the doctors watching.
Yeah, the nurses, the doctors are just amazing. The healthcare, I found out last week that there's called health allies or health. It's a group of health workers that allied health workers that used to be not part of the health system, but they're now a part of the health system, whereby after the doctors and the nurses, these allied health workers come in to support your work, recovery, full recovery. Imagine having that. Imagine that. There's a real asset that we have here in Australia. So how do we build resilience? We got to experience more adversities, I reckon.
Yeah. That could be like a virtual reality thing where you're just looking and you're like, I'm in a walk. I have no leg.
That's right. Those kind of experiences. Yeah. But even then, I challenge you, even that virtual reality, unless you really experience it, it's only you're scratching the tip of, the iceberg. So
do we hug now?
Okay, so I'm going to hug Cathy now and see how she feels. She's crying.
Thank you.
See, did I give her a good hug?
Yeah.
You need to release. You hug that person
I know.
until they release, and that's when you know that they really relax.
Yeah.
So, do you need a good hug from us?
Yeah. Di will give you a virtual hug.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that will give you the energy to build resilience. But one hug is not enough. So, that's it from us here at Let's Talk About It. And looking forward to hearing your feedback. Comment below about, do you think that millennials need more hugging than
Do we need more than a hug?
should? Are they resilient enough? And let us know. So comment below, click on the link and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Would love to hear from you and continue to stay in touch. So I'm Di
Stay
Lee.
safe. And I'm Cathy Ngo. Stay safe, everyone. Thanks
Practice
for tuning in.
safe measures during this COVID time.
I thought you were going to say practice safe something else.
I know. You know what? Sometimes I almost say practice safe sex, and then you think, oh, hang on. Well, safe sex, safe measures. Safe COVID measures is like safe sex, really.
Yeah, cover up.
Cover up, exactly.
Don't get anyone pregnant.
Distancing, social distancing.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.